While rhythm games in the US have been pretty sparse the past decade or so, that is not the case in Japan. With companies like Sega, Taito, and Konami battling it out in the arcades, new rhythm games are coming out frequently in Japan. Rhythm games in the US tend to have a pretty small community with not many players for tournaments or competitive play these days. But in Japan, it's a different story. With Konami releasing so many arcade games, they decided to have an annual tournament for them, with the goal of showcasing skilled play while also advertising new versions of their games, updates, and sometimes even entirely new games. This is known as the Konami Arcade Championship, or KAC for short. I'm here to give you a bit of an overview of the history of the Konami Arcade Championships, tell you about some of the games and competitors, and let you know where you can watch it. Every year around January or February is the Japan Amusement Expo, or JPO for short. The KACs are held here as an on-site event every year. Before the actual KAC finals, you have to qualify. How do you qualify? Well, you have to play the KAC qualifier courses on your respective game, of course. Your score on the course will place you on a leaderboard, and if you meet the threshold, you'll move on. The regions that are allowed to enter the KAC are roughly based on where the Konami games involved have been officially released. In most Asian countries, you can enter almost any of the games. However, if you're in North America, you're stuck with entering Dance Dance Revolution, as that's the only Konami game of the entire lineup to be officially released there. Once the qualifiers are complete, a resulting group of players will be chosen to compete at the KACs. You'll have to be a pro to get to the finals though, as the number of spots is very limited. There's also no cash prize, but you get a sweet trophy if you win. The Konami Arcade Championships include a variety of games, some of which you probably haven't even heard of. Of course, there's the rhythm games. The Bemani classic Beatmania 2DX, now on its 27th version. The fan favorite Dance Dance Revolution, featuring some of the most intense competition over the years. The flashy Dance Rush Stardom, featuring a style-based scoring system in the tournament. The extremely technical Gitadora, featuring its two main modes, Guitar Freaks and Drum Mania. The unique U-Beat, featuring grid-based rhythm gameplay. Another Bemani classic, Poppin' Music, featuring a split male and female division. The intense Sound Voltex, often revealing new crazy songs for its finale. And the recent Nostalgia, featuring piano-type gameplay, now on its third release. These rhythm games are all fun to watch, but there are some non-rhythm games, some of which have absolutely absurd concepts. How about Mahjong Fight Club, a competitive Mahjong arcade game approved for competitive play by Japan's very own professional Mahjong League? Or how about Baseball Collection, a baseball management sim arcade game based around collecting cards and managing your teams? We've got Eldora Crown, which appears to be a character collecting Fire Emblem style arcade game. There's the well-known Quiz Magical Academy, a fantasy-themed quiz/trivia game show game. And of course, we can't forget Konami's recently released Bomber Girl, featuring the Bomberman gameplay you know and love, but with anime girls instead. All these games have a tournament at the KAC as well. While this video will mostly focus on the rhythm games, I do highly recommend tuning into one of these games to see what it's like, as some of them can be very absurd and fun to watch. I know I'll be watching the Bomber Girl tournament. But back to the main event, rhythm games. Over the years, a few different games have come and gone, and some very well-known rhythm game players have participated in the KAC. While I don't know everything about all of them, I'll run through some notable players and give some of their backstory and achievements. We have to first start with Dolce. Dolce is probably the most well-known Beatmania 2DX player ever, and probably always will be. He is a legendary player, having played the game for well over 10 years, and is possibly also the best player of all time. Most YouTube searches for Beatmania 2DX result in at least one Dolce video, as he's still putting up absolutely insane scores to this day. Dolce took home the KAC Championship in 2011, 2013, and 2016, but has since stopped competing in the KACs. Dolce has an active working relationship with Konami now, helping to promote Beatmania 2DX and other Konami games, which is likely why he doesn't or isn't able to compete anymore. He's also been a host of the KACs for Beatmania 2DX for the past few years, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him again this year. Moving to Dance Dance Revolution, two main competitors have been duking it out for the past few years. We'll start with Femmes. Femmes is a Korean rhythm game player who has shown extremely high levels of skill in many rhythm games. His most notable performances have been in dance games, though. In addition to the Korean-made Pump It Up, Femmes is an incredibly skilled Dance Dance Revolution player. He's taken home 4 of the last 5 KACs in DDR and has proven to be a very powerful opponent for the other competitors. He even took home a U-Beat KAC title in 2013, proving his versatility in rhythm games. Unfortunately, as of writing, he has just started his required Korean military service, so he won't be involved in rhythm games for the next 2 years. I hope that he'll return ready to continue his dominance, and I don't think we've seen the last of Femmes just yet. I mentioned that Femmes had taken 4 out of 5 DDR KACs in the last 5 years. Well, the player who took that one in between is none other than the US's Chris for life. Chris has been an active rhythm game player for many years now, and has always excelled at what he plays. Before he was a DDR competitor, he held records in Guitar Hero before switching over. In 2016, DDR-A officially released in the US, and for the first time, Konami opened up the KAC to North American players. Chris took it upon himself to qualify and won the 2017 KAC, the first win for a North American player. Some players believe that Chris's presence in the DDR community has pushed Konami to bring some more localizations of DDR to the US, and Chris continues to be a powerful player in DDR. Don't be surprised if you see him on stage again this year. Moving over to pop and music, we have to talk about the most dominant player in the history of the KACs. Tatsu is a Japanese pop and music player, and is the definition of a powerhouse. Arguably the best pop-in player of all time, Tatsu has won every pop-in music KAC. 8 tournament victories mark Tatsu's extreme dominance of the game. He will almost surely make an appearance again this year. He also has a YouTube channel showcasing some of his best plays if you want to see what a true expert of a rhythm game looks like. Finally, I want to touch on Sound Voltex. Sound Voltex KAC is always interesting because while many of the same top players make it to the KACs, the Sound Voltex title seems to trade around a bit. The only player to take home multiple Sound Voltex titles was XD2Bot, and has otherwise been passed around between the top players. As such, the Sound Voltex KAC is always very competitive and a fun time to watch. Notable players include 1008Bot, Camellia, GGD, and K-Flat. I expect a good chunk of these players to return again to compete for the title. I know I'm leaving a lot of players out since I can't keep up with every rhythm game, so I'll just say that I've sorely undersold Drum Mania. Please watch the Drum Mania KAC. Drum Mania is an absurdly difficult game, and the top players are nothing short of wizards, even if I can't name any offhand. Dance Rush is also a great game to watch, as the players give very skilled and flashy performances. So now that we've covered games and players, where do you watch it? Konami always live streams the event to their YouTube channel, which I'll link in the description. The schedule for the event will be found on the official KAC 9th website, which is posted after qualifiers are over. JPO is February 7th and 8th this year, so that's the weekend you'll be looking for. Each game is separated into its own YouTube livestream video, so it's easily sorted to find what games you want to watch. In addition, YouTube automatically converts livestream start times to your local time zone, so it's easy to see what time games start. All of the old Konami Arcade Championships are on YouTube as VODs if you'd like to watch any of the old tournaments. The one catch for English-speaking viewers is that the event is entirely in Japanese with no English whatsoever. Don't let this deter you from watching though. Even if you can't understand it, usually the visuals given are enough to decipher what's going on, and the bombastic Icho, the main host of the KACs, is always entertaining to watch, even if you can't understand what he's saying. The only thing you'll want to know beforehand is the tournament format, which for rhythm games is usually gauntlet style. All the players will play usually 2 or 3 songs, then their scores between those 3 songs are totaled, with the highest scoring players moving up to the next round. The final round is usually 4 players in the 3-song gauntlet. Knowing this, you can easily watch the KACs and enjoy it. The KACs are a fun and exciting rhythm game event to watch. From high-scoring plays to crazy reveals, it's definitely an event worth watching. If you have any interest in Konami games, I highly recommend you check out a few of the tournaments to see what these high-level players can really do. And who knows, maybe you'll be inspired to try a few at the next convention or arcade you go to if you see one you really like. Thanks for watching. Check out my Twitter and my Twitch, links are in the description below. You can also check out my Patreon if you want to support my content. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.